One shop owner took a 28-minute phone conversation, turned it into $5,400 in bottom line profits. I'm going to show you how you can do the exact same thing. But buckle up, because we're starting right now. Hey, I'm Matthew. Welcome to Car Count Hackers. If it's your first time here and you want to grow your car count, income, and profits, go ahead and smash that subscriber button, ring the bell icon, that way you'll be on your way. So let's jump into this right now. Look, I literally just got a message from one of my private clients. And it was something that was so important that I thought I'd jump on this video and get it to you as soon as I could. Look, you understand I work with individual private clients where I come into the business and look at what they're currently doing. I like to call it the look from 30,000 feet. We look at what you're doing and what you're not doing. We look at things that are working and things that might not be working. Basically try to get an overall view of your picture from car count to where you want to go. And my job is to try to find the quickest way to get you to where you want to be. And typically, I'll tell you, it's 2 or 3 things that you need to adjust or tweak in order to get where you want. In this particular case, I was working with a relatively new private client, and in this interest of privacy, we're just going to call him John, okay? But understand, he is a small repair shop in the U.S. market, and when I say small, he is a one-man repair shop. Now, this works for one-man repair shops, and it works even better for bigger shops. But here's what you got to know. When I get involved, I start looking at several different things, and one of the issues that comes up invariably is, it's a 2-part question. 1, how many hours of labor do you bill on an annual basis? Now, you may have to determine that on a monthly basis and multiply it, but in most cases, the shop owners I work with have the data from their, shop management system that can tell them how many hours they booked in the last 12 months. The second part of the question is, what's your current labor rate? And actually, there's a third part to the question. When's the last time that you increased your labor rate? Now stop, because I can almost see your eyes rolling from where I'm sitting, but understand this. In this particular case, the shop owner hadn't had a price increase in his shop labor rates for more than 2 years. That's a long time. Think about what things were costing you 2 years ago and what they're costing you today. I'm going to say that there's probably nothing that's gone up in price. On the other side of the equation, he determined that he had about 1,400 hours billable every year. Now, I didn't do the math to work it all out, but that's somewhere in the range of 25 or 27 hours a week, and that's based on his regular 40, 50-hour work week, but he's not billing out every hour. So that was a good starting point. So we sat down and had a conversation. He had to bring to the table a couple of things about his particular market that I would have no idea of knowing. Things like, what are the new car dealers doing? What are the chain stores doing? What are the big box repair shops doing? That was a start. And then, of course, because he's been in the market for a while, he had some knowledge of what other independent repair shops were doing. So let's make the story short. At the end of the conversation, we turned around and determined that he would take a $4 increase in his price. And I'm going to tell you right now, there was not an objection to it, but there was certainly a concern. What happens if? What do I do if somebody comes in and, of course, you're doing something and you really don't know. Well, I've done this countless times with repair shops, and in just about every instance, they've all come back to me and said the same thing, and that's the message that I just got. And that's what caused me to get on this video and share it with you. The message, John said to me, you know what? It's been in place for 10 days and there hasn't been a single complaint. Not a single complaint. But that's not the end of the story. If you get in a habit of looking at this on a quarterly basis, what my experience has been with the shop owners that I currently work with is that every 6 months they make some slight adjustment in their labor rates. So that may be $3 or $4 an hour now and not again in another 6 months. But when you start adding all this up, and better yet, what if you've got 2 techs and those techs aren't worried about the phone, and they're not worried about costing out the jobs. They're not worrying about interacting with the customer and collecting the payment. They're doing just straight work. Are they billing 1,500 hours a year? 2,000 hours a year? Look, I'm not going to get into a math quiz here on camera because, well, quite frankly, I suck at it. But do the math yourself. What does that $5 an hour increase look like when you have 1,500 hours in a year out of 1 tech? Then what does that look like when it's out of 2 techs? So what's the moral of all this? Number 1 is you've got to look at how many hours you're billing. Number 2, look at how many techs you have and how many hours, as a total these techs are billing out for your company. And thirdly, I'm going to tell you this now, and I'm not looking to offend anyone. If you get uncomfortable talking about increasing your rates, my strongest suggestion to you would be pack it in right now, because you're not running a business, you're running a hobby or a charity. If you're here to deliver good quality repairs, do them on time, and serve the people in your community, you know that there's a value in that. So listen, tell me in the comments below what you're doing and what your thoughts are on this video. And don't forget to give it a thumbs up and like it and share it with other shop owners that you may know. But what I want you to do right now is take a minute after this video and go back and look at your records. Look at the last 3 months or the last 6 months. Ideally, you want to do this on an annual basis. Go ahead and look at the total number of hours your shop is billing. And of course, this is something I don't have to tell you that results aren't typical, because this is math. There's nothing to, there's no lying or spoofing here. This is just straightforward. If you're billing 2,000 hours and you raise your price $1 an hour, your, goal at the end of the year is another $2,000. I'm going to tell you that you're probably in the range of 3 to 4 to get started, and maybe another 2 or 3 in 6 months. But do that. Find out how many hours you're currently billing. And then secondly, go ahead and look at the last time you had an increase in your labor rate. Of course, I can't tell you what to do, because you know your market. You know the new car dealers. You know the chain stores, the big box repairs, and the competitors down the street. But go ahead and do that and scribble it down on some paper. And I think it's going to be pretty clear to you that you can go ahead and take a small increase now, and that'll amount to big dollars at the end of the year. Trust me, I've done this hundreds of times. Now, if you'd like a look at your business from that 30,000 foot level, and you want to do it in about an hour, go ahead in the links down below. I've got a link that you can contact me, and we'll go ahead and arrange a time and a day that works for you, and we'll sit down and look at your business from 30,000 feet. Go ahead and do that, and if you got value out of this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and like it. I'd really appreciate that. And while you're here, you may as well carry on and watch these videos here. My name's Matthew Lee. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. I can't wait to see you on the next video. Take care and talk soon.